In 1968, just months before Dr. King's assassination, the HBCU gospel choir movement was quietly taking root on campuses across the South. Young black students, in the thick of civil unrest, exams, and daily survival, were gathering not just to sing, but to worship. They weren't trained professionals. Some didn't read music, but when they sang together, something shifted. It wasn't just harmony, it was healing, it was hope, sung in unison. Each voice became a weapon against fear, injustice, and despair. In a world that tried to silence them, they sang louder, not for show, but for strength. Fast forward to today, and the tradition continues, from church youth choirs in Philly to campus groups like the Howard Gospel Choir, Oakwood University Aeolians, or Morgan State's Worship Collective. The sound of gospel still echoes louder than the noise of the world. Why? Because when voices rise in unity, not performance, but praise, God moves. That's more than culture. That's kingdom. Psalm 133:1 says, "Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity." And later in the same passage, "For there the Lord commanded the blessing," not in talent, not in production, but in unity. Gospel choirs show us that worship isn't just personal. It's communal. It teaches young people to move as one, to listen, to lead, and to lay aside ego for the sake of encounter. In an age of viral solos and spotlight culture, choirs bring something countercultural, togetherness. In 2018, Kanye West's Sunday Service Choir brought gospel harmonies to Coachella. The media called it innovative, but gospel fans knew this wasn't new, it was rooted. What the world saw as a novelty had already been a lifeline for generations. Youth choirs in small churches in big cities have long been safe spaces, not just for singing, but for healing, where young men and women found confidence, where musicians learned to lead worship, not just play music, where people with anxiety, fear, or heartbreak found peace in the sound of surrender. In some churches, the youth choir was the first place a kid ever felt seen. It wasn't about perfect pitch. It was about participation. A place where everyone had a part, no matter their voice type or skill level. The choir became community, family, a rehearsal space for life. And even now, in a digital world full of filters and opinions, the gospel choir still matters. Because in a world divided by algorithm and opinion, the choir brings people together. Different voices, different backgrounds, same mission. Worship together as one. Whether you're in robes, street clothes, or matching t-shirts, when the voices rise, so does heaven's response. When one person's breath becomes part of something greater. When harmonies become holy ground. So the next time you see a gospel choir, don't just watch, listen. Listen to the unity. Listen to the worship. Listen for the presence of God. Because Psalm 133 reminds us, where there is unity, God commands a blessing. You don't need a solo to change the atmosphere. You don't need a platform to shift the room. Sometimes, all you need is harmony. This is why gospel choirs still matter. Not because they're trendy, but because they carry legacy, and because unity still moves heaven.